desert, whatever little water you have, you capture it, and you try to do what? To contain it. And so when Jesus talks about water, he is always referencing what the word King James used to call living water. It really means flowing water, which is something not usual in that place. So today I want you to think about this as we look at John chapter 7. Jesus began this theme, if you remember, in chapter 4 when he met this woman at the well. Remember the whole story about the woman at the well? He's talking to her about the well, and she is coming not to the river, but she's coming to the well. The well is something that you dig and then you protect because it's water in the desert. So he talks to her about the water. And then where we catch him now in chapter 7 of John, it's 6 months later. Okay? If you're keeping a calendar, this is 6 months later. And they are now at a time when they are during a feast called the Festival of Tabernacles or Tents. It's called Yom Sukkoth. The Festival of the Tents or Booths is when the people were supposed to take a whole week, one whole week, and you move yourselves from the houses and you would build little almost tent outside your house on the roof of your house. It's around summer, it's hot. The kids would enjoy that. It's a day we get to camp outside the house, but that camp was supposed to be a reminder about the fact that they used to be strangers. They lived in tents. So it is one of the requirements that the Bible had said to the New Testament, the Old Testament Jews, that if you could, that is the one day, that's the one celebration you are required to go to Jerusalem. Are we together? That was required. The Day of Atonement, if you could make it, you go there because the festival, the celebration, the sacrifice could only be done at one temple, and there was only one temple. So if you could, they were required to appear at the temple for the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur. This other one called Yom Sukkoth, or the Day of the Tent, or the Festival of Booths, or Yom Sukkoth, whatever you want to call it, they were required to show up in Jerusalem, or the ones who could. And so as I read, even keep that in your background, because it is now Jesus, 6 months after he has been preaching to this woman, he told her that he would give her water that would become an inner flowing water inside her so that she could stop coming to look for this water that doesn't satisfy. And here we are, and I'll tell you why water features in this story also. John chapter 7. This is Jesus. Last week, the week before, we met him in John chapter 6 when he had been preaching. He fed the people. They were very happy, and they were saying to him, "You stay here and give us more bread because Moses gave us bread for 40 years. You do that, we'll make you our king." And in fact, he said to them, "Do you guys want to live?" If you remember, it was the irritating Jesus who asked the disciples, "Do you also want to go away?" And they were not happy because they were saying to him, "You should at least be happy we are here. All your other disciples have abandoned you. We are here. At least be nice to us." He says to them, "Do you want also to go away?" And Peter says to him, "We have come and believed. We have believed and come to know that you are the Holy One of God." So we pick up in chapter 7 from verse 1 to verse 14 to give you that background, and then we'll talk about drinking water that does not satisfy. After this, Jesus went about in Galilee. He would not go in to Judea because the Jews were seeking to kill him. He is up north. If you think of the map of California, he is up around Sacramento. He's up that north, and he is supposed to come down to around San Diego, which is where Jerusalem is. So they are asking him to go down to San Diego. He's up in the Sacramento Bay Area. So he is going about in that general area, Sacramento, San Francisco. He would not go down to Judea or San Diego because the Jews were trying to kill him. So his brother said to him, "Move and go to Judea, so that your disciples may also see the works you're doing. For no one works in secret if he seeks to be known. If you do these